Hey everyone! Okay, so welcome to week 32. Oh my goodness, there's only 8 weeks left until my due date. I just cannot believe that. Time is just slipping away on me. Time is going by so fast. I cannot believe how fast it's going. I was talking to a friend of mine that I talked to from the YouTube community, and it seems like some people's pregnancies, as you watch them go by, slow. Some people's pregnancies go by fast. And we're both shocked at sort of how fast my pregnancy is going. It seems to be really, really flying by, and only 8 weeks left till my due date is just craziness. But yeah, the baby's size. For week 32, this week he's starting off about the size of a squash, and by the end of the week he will be the size of a durian, D-U-R-I-A-N. I have no idea what that is. Doesn't really matter, it's bigger than a squash, I know that. But yeah, at this point, whatever the vegetable or fruit is of that week, it doesn't really matter. It's just all I know is he's getting bigger, and that's just amazing. And yeah, I feel him more intensely, and I feel his movements a lot stronger. So I'll get into the movement section of this video just right away. Yeah, his movements just this past week have gotten a lot stronger, anytime he rolls, or even if he just stretches his leg out or stretches his arms out, I really feel it. He's really getting strong, and I actually had my first painful-ish kick this week. It's still not painful, like painful isn't really the right word, but uncomfortable kick. I had my first really kind of, wow, okay, that didn't feel good. Although I still love it, because if I'm having uncomfortable kicks, that means he's getting really strong and big, and that's great. But yeah, so I was really kind of impressed that just in such a short time, it just seems like one day his kicks were, I felt them, but they weren't uncomfortable. And then the next day was like, holy, and he was just kicking me like crazy, and strong. So that's really awesome. And another thing about movement that has been happening for a while, and I think I mentioned it in a previous video, but I never kind of touched on it again, was he has the hiccups. He has the hiccups, and he's been having the hiccups, and I've been feeling that they are hiccups since probably about week 25 or so. I think I was feeling them before that, but I wasn't recognizing them for what they were. But now he has the hiccups all the time, and because he's bigger and he just fills up my uterus more, when he does have the hiccups, it's kind of like distracting, because he's constantly hiccuping, and if it happens at night, I can't fall asleep when he has the hiccups, and yeah, it's so funny, but he constantly has the hiccups. I know that's completely normal. I think I read that it's normal for a baby to have hiccups 5 to 6 times a day, and he definitely does. He definitely has hiccups all the time, and it's so funny, especially when his back is right up against the front of my uterus, or the front of my tummy, because when I put my hand there, you can really feel the hiccups super defined, but it's so sweet. And yeah, I love his hiccups. Even though they keep me awake sometimes, I love his hiccups. Okay, so my symptoms for this week, I do have a couple of them. I have them sort of written down, because I did have a couple of them, so if you see me looking down. I've been having round ligament pain this past week, and I think it's because I think he's having like a pretty significant growth spurt at the moment. Another symptom that I'm having this week that has just happened this week is I'm really tired. Like tired as in how I felt in the beginning of this pregnancy. The first, I think I was really tired up until like week 7 or 8. But yeah, I'm just as tired now as I was then, and I sort of attribute it to the fact that he's going through a growth spurt right now. He's not as active as he usually is, and when I say that, like, he's still very active, but he is a very, very active baby. He is constantly moving around, and I notice more times now where he's quiet and still. So I think that's because he's going through a growth spurt, and because of that, I am very tired, and I'm having these round ligament pains. So along with that, a couple of other symptoms that I've been having that haven't really been fun is I'm a bit emotional lately. Like I can cry at the drop of a hat, and I always want Jason around, and that's something that's been sort of going on this entire pregnancy. I love my husband, and I've always wanted him around, even before I got pregnant. So it's not that I just want him around, but now it's more of like an anxiety when he's not around. You know, if he goes, like, he plays sports and stuff, if he goes and I don't go with him, I feel a little bit anxious, like, oh, when's he going to be home? Which is really annoying, just because I want him to be able to go and do things without me feeling anxious. And he knows that I've been feeling this way, and so I think he feels like he can't go and do stuff like he could before. So I'm really looking forward to that symptom passing. But yeah, I really want him around me all the time. And I'm emotional. I'm emotional. Just a couple of days ago, I was having a lazy day, and I just wasn't my happy self. Like, I'm a pretty happy person in general. I mean, for the most part, I think that I'm a pretty happy person. But I've been having days where I just feel like I don't really feel like doing anything, and then I don't do anything, and then I get down and sad because I don't feel productive. So it's kind of like a vicious cycle. But yeah, a little bit more than usual, and for no reason at all, I'll just start crying. I got a call, just a FaceTime call from a friend of mine who just had a baby not long ago, and it was the first time I had seen the baby. Like, I'd seen pictures and things like that, but the first time I seen the baby, like, live, I guess you could say. And I just started crying, like, oh, crocodile tears coming down my face, because I was just, overwhelmed by seeing, her baby, and yeah, so I can cry, and commercials and TV shows, and I was watching Oprah the other day, catching up on some old Oprah episodes, and yeah, just boo-hooing. So yeah, I mean, it's just hormones, and I'm okay with it. But it's kind of like, I don't know when it's going to crop up. Because, like, right now, I feel fine, I don't feel hormonal, but, like, I know in, like, 5 minutes, if I see something on TV, then I'll just be, oh my god! It's kind of funny. But it's not funny in the moment when I'm feeling super sad or super whatever. But, oh well, it is what it is. So something else to talk about in this video is actually something important. Last week I did let you know that I had seen my doctor, and she let me know that some results that I had gotten back from the ultrasounds that I had to check that Ewan was okay for not having spina bifida. I don't know, if you all remember, I had blood work done, and then it came back showing that he was at an increased risk of having spina bifida, and so I had an ultrasound done at around 20 weeks, and then I had an ultrasound done at around 28 weeks, just to check on him. and everything turned out to be fine. You know, he was measuring properly and no signs of spina bifida, and all of that came back good. But at my last appointment, I found out that a note that the doctor made where I went to have these ultrasounds done, the doctor made a note for my doctor here where I'm from, that I'm high risk for preterm labor, stillbirth, hypertension, among other things, because even though they did these ultrasounds and found that Ewan was fine, that level that they checked for in my blood was still elevated, and so because it was elevated, I was at an increased risk for all of these different things. And because I'm having all of these Braxton Hicks contractions, which I should have mentioned in my symptoms, but I forgot, I am still having Braxton Hicks contractions, that my doctor was concerned. So she sent me to a high-risk doctor here in the area, and I had that appointment this past week. He basically went over all of my information and said basically that everything's fine. He did an ultrasound in the office when I went in to see him, which was super unexpected. I did not expect it at all. And he had a look, and one of the things that they look for when this is elevated, this AFP in your blood is elevated, they look to see that the baby, babies are usually smaller, but Ewan is measuring just perfect for where he is, so he's really not concerned at all. And actually what he said to me was that the person that checked me when they did the ultrasounds before was only just qualified, and if I had have had a more experienced doctor, that doctor probably wouldn't have made those notes. Therefore, my doctor wouldn't have got concerned, and I wouldn't have been referred in the first place. And so I said, so what about all the Braxton Hicks contractions? Like, does that mean that I'm going to go into labor early? And he said, no, it's completely normal, and because Ewan is so active, that's actually causing my contraction, like the Braxton Hicks contractions. If I had a less active baby, I probably wouldn't have as many of them. So that was super reassuring. So he's not concerned at all, which means my doctor that's been monitoring me this whole pregnancy will still be able to deliver Ewan, which is really great, just because I've been with her the whole time. He does want to see me again in 4 weeks, just to follow up, just in case. But he said that what'll happen is my doctor will be able to deliver, and he'll just sort of be on call just in case anything happens that, you know, he's needed, but he doesn't think that anything will happen at all. So super, super relieved that everything is fine. And I'm super annoyed that I got the unqualified, or rather just qualified doctor, ultrasound person, when we went to have those done, because man, that was just like unnecessary tension, you know, but whatever. I'm really just relieved that everything is fine and Ewan is doing great. And we got to see him, which was awesome. And so the doctor, this is the first time I'd met this high-risk doctor here in the area, and he said, you know, do you know what you're having? And I said, yes, we're having a little boy. And so he showed us the boy parts, and Ewan is still definitely a boy. And so it was funny. The doctor was like, and there's his scrotum. And I was like, oh, yes, yes. And he said, oh, and you can see his pecker, which was hilarious that he called it his pecker, but whatever. And then the most funny thing was, he's like, and look, it kind of looks like a turtle. And my mom was there with me. She was able to come to the appointment. Jason had to work, so he wasn't able to come. And plus, we didn't realize we were having an ultrasound, so otherwise I probably would have gotten him to get the time off. But nonetheless, my mom was there. And me and my mom both started laughing because we're like, it looks exactly like a turtle. So that was really nice. Yes, and I walked away from that appointment feeling very relieved and satisfied with what he had to say and his reasonings for why he thought everything was going to be okay. So, yes. And also, I saw my regular doctor, told her the report that the high-risk doctor gave, and because of it, I don't have to go see her every week like she had said the week before. she's gonna put me back to every 2 weeks, so I don't have to go in again until 33 weeks. 33 weeks pregnant, so that's really good. But yeah, that is it, I believe. So super happy that that all went really well. Let me just double check my notes. Yeah, that's everything for week 32. Holy crap, week 32. That's just amazing. I don't really think about it during the week, you know. I mean, I do, but not really. But when I sit down to do these videos and really like think like, holy crap, I'm 32 weeks pregnant, you know, with a baby that's almost 4 pounds in my belly right now, and it's a boy. His name's Ewan. It's really, I don't know, it's still super surreal. I think it's going to be surreal until, you know, I have him home with me and, you know, yeah, it's still very, very surreal. But anyways, I'm going to end at that because I think this might have been a little bit of a longer video, as always, because I ramble. And I will show you the belly, so let's go take a look. Alright, so here is week 32 belly, and I feel like I may have gotten bigger. Holy mother. That is just a huge belly. And I feel pretty big, I'm not gonna lie. I feel pretty big. And white. My belly is so white at the moment. Pale, pale, pale. So yeah, I'm not sure if you can see it, but I think this line is getting a little bit darker. But it's pretty hard to see, I think, through this camera. And stretch marks on the side are extending still. And I do have some belly butter that I am using at the moment. And so far I'm really liking it, but I will let you guys know a little bit more about it after I use it for a bit more. But yeah, that is the belly. I feel like I've kind of popped out a little bit the past week, but let me know what you guys think. Do you think I've gotten any bigger? Yeah. Pull my shirt down. It's so funny, this top, I remember I put it on at like 18 weeks. I wore this shirt to find out that we were having a boy for our like gender ultrasound, and I had this little like beep little this little tiny belly, and I remember being like, look, I'm showing, and you know, people were like, you're still tiny. And now I like legit have a belly in this shirt. It's pretty funny to see the progression, and I'm excited because I'll be able to do like a progression week. I think my first picture that I took was at 4 or 5 weeks pregnant, and I'll be able to do progression all the way up to 40 weeks, so I'm super excited to see that once it's all done. But yeah, have to wait a few more weeks before I'm able to do that. So anyways, that's it for week 32. I can't believe how fast this time is going. I really hope that you all have a great week. As always, I love you all so much. If you have any questions, leave them below. But otherwise, have a really, really great week, and I will see you next week for week 33. Wow. All right. Bye.